This $3.9 trillion giant just published a groundbreaking report on how they are valuing companies putting Bitcoin on their balance sheet. But just how bullish is this bank? And why has their CEO been extremely bearish about Bitcoin in the media? We're going to dive into all of this and more about why JPMorgan Chase published this groundbreaking report about how they're valuing companies with Bitcoin, and why Jamie Dimon might be trying to hide his bullishness when it comes to Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. But first, let's dive into this report. So you guys can see at the top, it's titled, "Does Crypto Deserve a Place in Your Portfolio?" The word crypto makes me want to puke. I'm not going to lie to you, folks. But the report suggests that a small allocation to crypto, such as 1%, could potentially enhance your portfolio's efficiency due to the low correlation of traditional assets. But when this report was recently published, we also had Jamie Dimon going in the media just yesterday saying, well, I'm not even going to let you guys hear it from me. I want you to hear it from the man himself.
And CEO of the largest bank in America, it matters what Jamie Dimon has to say about things. Listen to him on Bitcoin. You have called Bitcoin a Ponzi scheme. You've said that it's as useless as a pet rock. What do you really think?
You're going to have some kind of digital currency at one point. So I'm not against crypto. You know, Bitcoin itself has no intrinsic value. It's used heavily by sex traffickers, money launderers, ransomware. So I just don't feel great about Bitcoin. I applaud your ability to want to buy or sell it. Just like I think you have the right to smoke, but I don't think you should smoke.
Since he took charge.
Now, would you look at that, folks? He said it, you heard it from him himself, right? He said Bitcoin is used for sex trafficking, money laundering. He said, you can smoke, you have the right to smoke, but I don't think you could do it. Can you believe it? The guy, JPMorgan himself, publishing a report. Obviously, it wasn't him himself, but his own company, JPMorgan Chase, publishing a report about Bitcoin. And then literally 2 days after this report was published, going to the media and saying that it's similar to smoking cigarettes. It's similar to potentially killing yourself and giving yourself lung cancer. It's absolutely mind-boggling where these people are when it comes to Bitcoin and how they just lack the understanding. And in this report, they talk about how they are upgrading the way that they're evaluating Bitcoin miners, such as CleanSpark, Mara, because they have Bitcoin on their balance sheet. They're looking at everything related to their Bitcoin allocation when it is, these companies have an analysis and they're using Bitcoin on the balance sheet as a multiplier. They're multiplying the valuation that they're giving to companies that are holding Bitcoin on their balance sheet simply because it is rising in value opposed to cash. Whereas cash, obviously, on the balance sheet is definitely going to lose value. Hell, the Fed even tells you, we plan on losing 2% of your cash values at a minimum every single year. That's our goal. Now, it's funny because JPMorgan has full educational topics about Bitcoin, about cryptocurrency. Hell, they've even created their own cryptocurrency, an attempt to now hold business-to-business transactions, where they've coined it JPM coin, where they're trying to have other banks and have other international players utilize their cryptocurrency for international transactions. So now, why would JPMorgan be afraid of Bitcoin? Why would JPMorgan be potentially speaking ill of Bitcoin in the media? Why would Jamie Dimon have this when they're looking at their investors and they're saying, hey, it would be smart to have 1% at the very least for a little bit of diversification in your portfolio? They're starting to opening it up here, but they've been extremely negative. Now, why is that? It's because it takes away the power from the banks, folks. Simple as that. Bitcoin has the power. You could be your own bank. You could hold your private keys. Hell, My mom, who forgot her Coinbase password potentially, could be beating the crap out of all of these JPMorgan Chase asset managers simply by just forgetting the password because of seeing how much that this thing could go up. It's that simple. And they're realizing it. They're realizing they've been getting their tail whipped, and they've been trying to find other ways to get around it, whether it's creating their JPM coin because they see the use case of cryptocurrency. But it's interesting because they've been extremely negative of Bitcoin for quite some time. JP Morgan, even last year, was saying that, or 3 years ago, excuse me, was saying that JP Morgan, or that Bitcoin is a gateway drug. Exposure for this would be detrimental for their clients. So even though that this is 3 years old, we've seen Bitcoin rise from at the top at that point, 70,000 to sitting at 95 about right now. So you'd be up a good 25%, even if you bought at the absolute peak of the top last year, 3 years ago. I believe that was not the price at that time. I was probably sitting around 30,000. We can go back and look at the chart when I have that up. But it's absolutely insane. Jamie Dimon has been ripping on Bitcoin and is saying that there's no use case. There's no reason anybody should have it. And it doesn't make any sense. But the thing that they are noticing is this right here, folks. There are multiple giant companies now holding Bitcoin on their balance sheet. We have MicroStrategy, Marathon Digital, Riot, Tesla, Block, Coinbase, Semler Scientific, Metaplanet, some of the major giants. Hell, we have much over 40 companies holding Bitcoin on their balance sheet. You got the full list here on CoinGecko. I don't even know if this is fully updated to the full time. I know that there's more companies that have this, that have Bitcoin on their balance sheet, but these are the 32 biggest right here, folks. And check back out on this tweet. Who are some multi-trillion-dollar companies that have openly considered putting Bitcoin on their balance sheet since the FASB was passed just a few weeks ago? Amazon, that vote happens in February. Meta did a live stream on that yesterday. Microsoft, they said no on that vote, but hell, folks, they're having that conversation. So that's 3 companies in that magnificent 7. So I think the time is coming. I think the domino effect of businesses putting Bitcoin on their balance sheet is starting, and JP Morgan is taking notice. I mean, they essentially have to pay attention or they're going to get left behind. I mean, look at the returns that we're seeing from Semler Scientific, for example. They announced about 6 months ago that they're going to start putting Bitcoin on their balance sheet. Look, in May of 2024, look at how much return we're getting here. We've had 11% on the year, but in the past 6 months, 53%. Here's another great example. MicroStrategy, in the past year, 575%. Now, why are these companies absolutely exploding? Is it because of their underlying business model? Short answer to that is no. MicroStrategy loses money every year, folks, but it's the best performing stock there is. So why is that? I mean, asset managers have to pay attention to this if they want to provide their clients the best value. If they want to be a fiduciary, they sign an oath saying that they're going to go about their fiduciary responsibilities, which means, hey, I am going to do the best job I can to take care of your money, not just buy the stocks that I'm getting paid to promote for you, right, folks? So with all that, I think everybody is looking at where, these Bitcoin companies are going. They're looking at MicroStrategy. They're looking at what I love to show here time and time again on these live streams, this MicroStrategy flywheel, folks. They're seeing MicroStrategy issue more debt to buy Bitcoin. Bitcoin price increasing because not only is MicroStrategy buying Bitcoin, but everybody else is. Thus, MicroStrategy's market cap will increase. The MicroStrategy market cap increases, weight in indices increases, such as the S&P 500, such as the NASDAQ 100, which MicroStrategy just joined. MicroStrategy issues equity to buy debt or to buy more Bitcoin, excuse me. The Bitcoin price increases, MicroStrategy market cap increases, and then it increases the weight again. It issues more equity to buy more Bitcoin, and thus the flywheel starts all over again. Companies are taking notice of this. They're seeing how successful Michael Saylor's being. And shareholders are urging boards of Meta, Amazon, and Microsoft to consider this strategy. Now, why would they do that if they didn't think it was successful? I don't know, folks. You tell me, right? We're seeing JPMorgan start to really open up its eyes, even though we're seeing Jamie Dimon still just openly rip on Bitcoin. Like, how disingenuous can you be here, folks? Jamie Dimon coming out and saying Bitcoin's worthless. It's a tool for criminals. A recession could hit this year, all because of Bitcoin. You already see the FUD that they're lining out here, folks. They blasted Bitcoin, saying it's worthless and it enables criminal activities. He said a recession is still possible and could happen this year. Household finances, government debt, foreign conflicts, they all could cause this recession. But the TLDR of this report that they put out is they've created a Bitcoin exposure basket to track companies with direct and indirect exposure to Bitcoin. So this could be their gateway drug for their clients. That's how they described it. Not me, folks. That's how they described it. So they're creating this basket. They're creating different tools and different things to invest in for their clients, to give their clients exposure to Bitcoin, give their clients exposure to the cryptocurrency market. And with all that, we still have Jamie Dimon coming out and saying that Bitcoin's for criminals. Why would they do that? Why would they give their clients exposure to something that they wouldn't want, right? If they really believed that it was something for criminals, would they be offering it to their clients? I don't think so here, right? So let's go to the chat because I think we got it blowing up here. So I appreciate you guys coming in. We got lies from Jamie Zion. I do definitely think he's lying because just follow the money, folks. We see they've invested in JPM coin. They have Bitcoin clients. Hell, they have Bitcoin that they're giving to their clients. They recommend the ETFs to their clients. I mean, diversify to stay wealthy unless you have the deflationary money. That's 100% true. I mean, I definitely believe that, to keep your money, you can diversify, but if you need to get money, I think it's really important to focus on a singular asset. So there's a great comment from Satwise. I love when people say it has no intrinsic value. It takes less than 5 minutes to understand the painstaking detail why Bitcoin's value is indisputable. What a comment there from Satwise Janks. I 100% agree with you. And I think everybody here in the chat does too. Hell, I think even Jamie Dimon does. But for some reason, Jamie Dimon wants mainstream to not think that this is something that's necessary. He doesn't want you to believe that, hey, you don't need me. You don't need the asset managers at JPMorgan Chase. Why? Well, you definitely do, right? Invest in the S&P 500. It'll go up 20% when we print a bunch of money, and that'll be an outstanding year. It'll go up 7 to 12% on average. But inflation, it's hitting 10%. It's hitting 10% plus, folks. So with all that, I mean, why would I invest in something that I know is losing me money? Doesn't make any sense. Yeah, this is it right here. My old financial advisor at Chase has 24,000 in Bitcoin, but can't recommend it. WTF? I mean, it makes sense, right? Listen to what they do, not what they say. I think that's the whole premise of this entire video here. Listen to watch what they do. Don't listen to what they say, because Jamie Dimon is screaming from the rooftops, Bitcoin's for criminals. But, it doesn't make any sense as to why they are looking at a lot of things. So, but So forward guidance FUD to suppress the demand for their buying opportunity. Hey, I mean, who knows, man? I don't think they're really smart enough to really be trying to suppress the price of Bitcoin like that. I know a lot of people would like to think that they're trying to suppress the price, but I mean, look at the evidence. Follow the money here, folks. JPMorgan Chase has disclosed they've been buying the Bitcoin's ETF, even while their CEO, Jamie Dimon, has been publicly hating on it. In December, in front of Congress, Jamie Dimon said that he would shut Bitcoin down if he were the government, yet they hold millions of dollars worth of their Bitcoin ETF. I believe it was $500 million worth. So you would hold $500 million worth of Bitcoin in an ETF if you thought it had no intrinsic value. You would hold $500 million if you thought it was useful for criminals only. If it was only used for sex trafficking, you would create a JPM coin if you saw no utility in the cryptocurrency market and exchanging of goods. I mean, at a certain point, how can you deny the results here, folks? How can you deny everything that we're seeing here from Bitcoin? I mean, we've got Bitcoin plummeting 0.17% at 94%. But if you look at the past 6 months, we have up 45%, 1 year, 120%. Year to date, a measly 1%. We're only 11 days in. How could I forget here, folks? How could I forget that it's so early on here in this year? But look at this 5-year chart, up 1,000%. Now, I showed you that article, Jamie Dimon talking about Bitcoin in May of 21. So let's see, March of 21, we're sitting at about 50,000, 50 to 55,000. So we've nearly doubled since JPMorgan, since Jamie Dimon came out and said that Bitcoin is, the gateway drug for their clients. Hell, I'm sure that they would be very satisfied if they saw a 50% increase here in 3 years. I mean, where can you get that return anywhere else? It's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, they're calling it a gateway drug. They're calling Bitcoin the worst thing on planet Earth. But they support all these different industries that have been corrupted by the fiat system. They support all these different industries that require you to go in massive amounts of debts in order to get the health care you need. They support all these other industries that, I'm on YouTube here, so I got to bite my tongue a little bit of what just happened with, a certain high up CEO exec of a healthcare industry. That's why I've partnered with Crowd Health, because I think that they are definitely helping end the fight for some of the most corrupt systems in the United States, which includes the health insurance industries. They'll help you find great doctors, negotiate your bills so you're not sitting in medical debt your entire life, and fund those bills through a peer-to-peer program with a bunch of great other individuals who are looking to help you succeed, looking to help you get the healthcare that you need. So I've partnered with them. You could go to joincrowdhealth.com, use promo code GreenCandle to get $50 off for $99 for the first 3 months. So it's absolutely outstanding. So you guys definitely should go to Join Crowd Health and join them there. Now, let's get back to the point at hand here, folks. Jamie Dimon, the man himself. I don't want to, many of you guys in the chat know every single podcast guest I have come on and called the man, the myth, the legend. I wouldn't describe Jamie Dimon that way, because he's simply just getting out there and just spreading lies about Bitcoin. And in the meantime, he's pumping his own bags. He's buying $500 million worth of Bitcoins in the ETF, creating JPM coins, creating products for his clients, saying that, you can buy Bitcoin, creating educational material at JPMorgan Chase for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And it doesn't make sense as to why he is currently pumping this FUD. But this report that JPMorgan put out shows really what JPMorgan is really believing about the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency industry. They're believing that there's a large appeal and that it has great alpha potential. Bitcoin returns have been impressive. They've come with extraordinary volatility, but that is 4 times that of the S&P 500. And all to say that Jamie Dimon is simply talking over this great report, and it's great for diversifying relative to equities and bonds, and it has a place in your portfolio. JPMorgan came out and said 1% at the very least to have Bitcoin in your portfolio, and they have their CEO coming out and just spreading lies about Bitcoin, which I find very, very disingenuous here, folks. But I'm actually here in a great house with my buddy Luke and some other people. He's going to be doing a live stream sharing his thoughts on what is going on here. But if you guys are here in town in Medellin, Colombia, where we are, we're holding together a great mastermind on Wednesday, the 15th. So we are going to be giving a presentation on how to grow an online business. Luke's going to be talking about digital nomading. I'm going to be talking about a lot of the sales aspects that has helped me grow my green candle business from zero to letting me be able to take it full time here in just a short period of time. We're going to talk about marketing in the digital space and much, much more. We've also got our buddy Dallas Rushing going in, and he's going to be talking about how he's building the Satoshi app, one of the best wallet apps there is. We have another guy who has a multi-million-dollar revenue app where he's took a month vacation and has generated all this revenue as well. So you guys can come, just message me or Luke if you guys are in Medellin, Colombia. We'd love to have you and see you guys all to talk about some great things that we're building, hang out at an awesome Airbnb, have some food, have some drinks, and spend an entire day with you guys. So I appreciate you guys all coming out. Bruise the like button. I am very bullish here, and I think that everything here going forward is going to be outstanding. So hopefully I see you guys here in Colombia. But in the meantime, bruise the like button, smash the subscribe button, tell a friend to tell a friend, and we'll see you guys all at the next